back to Lindsey's Little Library. So today we are here for BookList Thursday. Kind of forgot what day it was today. BookList Thursday is something you do with Sarah over at Sarah's Nightstand. We come to you every Thursday with some sort of book thoughts, ideas, recommendations, something bookish related. So for the first BookList Thursday of December, I can't believe it's December, but I'm embracing all of the holiday everything. But for the first one in December, we are going to take a look at some winter read recommendations and books. So I have a few. I have a couple books that I have read that I highly suggest you reading in the winter. And I have a few books that are on my, I guess, winter TBR list, if you call it that. I don't really do TBRs, but they're on my radar for these snowy winter days. So the first one I want to talk about is No Exit by Taylor Adams. I highly recommend this book to anyone who lives in a climate where it snows. And I highly recommend you pick this up on a very snowy, blustery, blizzardy day and read it. Because let's just talk about how atmospheric it will make you. Oh my gosh, it's fantastic. And I love reading books where I am in a setting similar to that book. So I read a haunted hotel book while I was in a hotel. I read a book about staying in a cabin while I stayed in a cabin. I read No Exit during a snowstorm. And it just, I don't know, it adds something to it. But this follows our main character as she is attempting to make her way home in the middle of a snowstorm. Her mother is not doing very well and she really, really needs to get home to see her. Unfortunately, she doesn't quite make it. She ends up pulling over in a kind of a wayside station. I believe this takes place in Utah, I think. But pulling over in a wayside station to kind of wait out the storm as long as she can. She has to. Her car's just not making it anymore. So she finds herself in this place with 4 other people. And she's like, well, at least she's not alone. And they welcomed her in. They're all kind of hunkering down and seeking shelter from the storm. But she goes out to try to get a telephone signal to at least let her family know that she has stopped for the night. And so the one person says, go out over by this, I think it was by the flagpole or whatever. Go over there. That's where I got good service. Maybe it'll work. So she goes there. She leaves a message. She doesn't know if it went through or not. But as she's walking back, she takes a different kind of way back through the parking lot and notices in the back of a van is a cage, and in the cage is a girl. So now she's stuck in this building with these people. She doesn't know whose vehicle this is. Why do they have a girl back there? What is going on? And it goes from there. And it is fantastic, and I loved it. So, read No Exit. The other one I want to talk about to read in the winter and suggest is The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna. This takes place in Alaska. We have the Albright family. They decide to move there because the father, Ernst, he's a POW from the war. This is, takes place in the 70s. And before kind of this knowledge of PTSD, and so he is trying to work through some things, and he thinks moving to Alaska and starting over is going to fix this. And so they move to Alaska in the summer and things are grand and glorious and it seems to be working. And then winter hits in Alaska. And you have 24 hours of darkness and storms and cold, and it goes from there. So a fantastic book. It's pretty epic and will make you feel all the feels. So highly suggest this one. You don't necessarily have to read it during a snowstorm, but definitely in winter you can kind of get those vibes. And then the next one I want to talk about is The Hunger by Alma Katsu, which also wrote The Deep, and I'm super excited to read that one as well. But this one, historical fiction retelling of the Donner Party as they made their way west. So it's a take on maybe what could have happened to the Donner Party as they traveled. And we all know what happened to the Donner Party. They got stuck in the winter. No supplies but each other. So this kind of gives a very interesting take on what a different spin to the story, and I really enjoyed it. So another suggestion for a winter tale. So what am I looking forward to reading? I have 5 books that I think will give me all the wintry vibes. 4 books that I think will give me the wintry vibes. So we have 5 Total Strangers by Natalie Richards. She never should have accepted the ride. It says she thought being stranded was the worst thing that could happen, and she was wrong. I don't want to read much more. I feel like there's been some interesting, well, I shouldn't say that, not interesting. I just don't like reading a whole lot into thrillers. I prefer to go into them blind. But I'm thinking this, yeah, there was an incoming blizzard, results in a canceled connection. So she might get stuck at the airport. And someone that she was supposed to be sitting with on her flight offers to rent a car and drive with them. So definitely winter vibes there. I'm excited for it. I have been waiting to read this book. I picked this up a while ago, probably this summer. I want to say I got it out of a free little library, or I got it at the library. I'm not sure which one, but I'm literally waiting for winter. I'm going to read The Unwanted Guest by Sherry LaPina. So it's winter in the Catskills, and Mitchell's Inn, nestled deep in the woods, is the perfect setting for a relaxing, maybe even romantic weekend away. Weekend retreat at a cozy mountain lodge is supposed to be the perfect getaway, but when the storm hits, no one is getting away. Don't know much else about it, but I'm excited for that one. And this one I'm again assuming is wintry. We have Alex Feeney's Rock, Paper, Scissors. Again, I don't want to know much about it. Says, think you know the person that you married, think again. Doesn't necessarily say that it is in winter, but I mean, look at the cover. That's snow. So we're gonna go with it. And then finally, I am attempting to make my way through the Once Upon a Book Club books that I have and book boxes that I have. I'm like way behind. Like I have 10 of them sitting there. So I have paused on my membership with them until I can catch up with these, because this is not a small thing to be storing around my house, and when you have a number of them, it gets a little overwhelming. So one of the books that I have from last winter is Shiver by Allie Reynolds. Ooh, it's a little bit. It said it started as a reunion and it ended with murder. So kind of along the same similar lines as these. A reunion weekend in the French Alps turns deadly as 5 friends discover that someone has stranded them in their remote mountain resort during a snowstorm. So again, I want to be, you know, in winter, feeling the vibes, have that atmospheric connection before I read this one. And with Once Upon a Book Club, if you don't know, it comes with gifts that correlate with the story. So this one I open on page 313. This one I open on page 198. And it does bring just another element to the story. And so usually you get a book plate that the author signed. There's always a bookmark, some sort of quote that's in here. This one's really got messed up. And then some sort of promotional, it's got discussion questions, and there's a read along that usually happens, which I'm way behind on, again, because I'm way behind. But really excited to pick this one up as well. So I've got 4 books, all snowy. It sounds like people stranded in storms. Crazy stuff's gonna happen, and I'm there for it. Those are my wintry themed books. A few that I suggest, a few new ones that I want to read. If you've read any of the ones I haven't, let me know which one I should pick up first. But you know, I live in Wisconsin. There should be plenty of snowy days that I can get through the ones I have sitting here. In fact, it's snowing right now, so I should really just pick one up. So if you've read any of them, let me know what you think. Otherwise, head over to Sarah's channel and see what she has for winter recommendations for us today. Otherwise, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.